Want to hear 25 remote work experts share their amazing strategies and processes for building successful remote work companies and remote team? We've got speakers from leading companies like Thinkific, Evergreen Profits, Dynamite Circle, and Tribe Theory, and more. Register for your free ticket now at www.remotebusinesssummit.com.
That's right, www.remotebusinesssummit.com. We'll see you there, November 18 to 22.
Woohoo! Welcome to Founders Connect podcast. We help lifestyle entrepreneurs to grow their business online and create a happier marriage.
Did you know that approximately 45% of marriages end up in divorce and 65% of all startups fail due to founder conflicts? Well, we're here to change that.
Each week we bring you an inspiring guest and practical tips to help you with business, relationships, and sustainable living. Now let the fun begin! Hi, I'm Cindy Pham.
And I'm Anthony Chansamuth.
And we're from Founders Connect.
I have with me Quinn, is it Zeda?
Yeah, Zeda.
Okay, there you go. Quinn Zeda from Zeda Labs and Conversion Crimes. They're two businesses that specialize in CRO. Zeda Labs is a conversions agency that specializes in transforming businesses from the inside out. The Zeda team has worked on projects like 16 Personalities, which I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with, and in helping them increase revenue by over 560% by really improving the user experience. That's epic. Conversion Crimes is a user testing platform, and it strives to make user testing more efficient, easier to use, and more mainstream. Now, Quinn typically lives in Medellin in Colombia. Is that still correct?
Ish, yeah. We get around.
You get around. Yep. And you're currently are you in Chiang Mai or somewhere in Thailand?
Yeah, I'm in Chiang Mai right now. And I'm actually trying to figure out if I'm going to get an apartment in Medellin or not. So we'll see.
Wow. There you go. All right. And when she's not doing all these cool things, she's skateboarding, traveling the world with her dog Zulu. Love that. Interpersonal development and motorcycles. Wicked. Welcome to the show, Quinn.
Thanks for having me.
So I been particularly excited about having you on because one part, as you would definitely know, that people don't pay attention to often is the user experience. And we're talking about building remote companies here on the Remote Business Summit. You're going to be talking about how to sell more by designing better UX or user experiences. And so let's talk about how you actually got into this field and when did you sort of first have a sense of, I guess, design or even just user experience. And this might not even be like from a business perspective, but even when you were a kid, like when was it a big deal for you?
It kind of started out going in a path I didn't think of. So I loved Pixar when I was younger, the computer animation. And in high school, we had like this technology class where you were like a radio broadcaster for 2 weeks. And then you did like CAD for 2 weeks or whatever. And there was this one station that was animation. And I had so much fun with it that I was like, I want to work at Pixar and do this computer animation stuff. And then I went to college for that. I went to the Art Institute, enrolled in computer animation, and realized it was like the worst job in the world. I absolutely hated it. It was not that fun program I had in technology class. It was like staring at this 3D alien egg for like hours and hours and hours and paying attention to these tiny details. And I remember looking over and being jealous of the design students' projects. And so I actually switched majors from there.
Are you I'm just like, yeah, I could have pictured just staring at this egg for hours going, wow. I love it.
Well, I figured if I like hated it like half a year into college, I was going to hate it the rest of my life. So I was like, I think I want to do something else in my life.
Rockin'. Totally relate to the Pixar fascination, all the animation stuff. You can't really see it, but I'm wearing a Bleach shirt, which is like totally rockin'. Now, tell me about the remote work revolution. You mentioned you're a bit of a nomad. How has remote work really impacted the way you do business or even the way your clients do business and how you support them?
So, yeah, when I first started out, I started my business right out of college and I didn't really know how to get clients or anything. So I just went online. That was like a long time ago. It was at like 2003, I think, is when I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah. So back then there was like elance.com. So that's actually where I started. So I kind of fell into it because all my clients were remote by nature. So it's like Upwork now.
Yes.
I think they bought out Elance or something like that. So yeah, I just started out there. So when my clients were location independent from day one, I think I've only ever had 2 local clients, but they actually came from Elance. It just like happened to work out that way on one of them. And then the other one, I think, was from some other job board. Yeah. And so when I got the travel bug, it was just like, oh, I don't necessarily have to be in this city. I can really be anywhere because all my clients are naturally remote. So it was actually quite an easy transition for me when I started out.
That's so cool. Definitely, you're not the only person who's kind of had that experience, having that you spent, I don't know, a week or so with hundreds of location independent business owners in DCBKK and the Dynamite Circle. It's really incredible how this has grown, certainly in the last 10 years, and the opportunities are there. What would you say has been, as part of that journey, I guess, one of the most courageous decisions that you've made along the way?
Kind of has nothing to do with remote work, but so after working on Elance or having my clients, I did a lot of different things. I had like a creative agency, worked for corporations, all kinds of stuff. And I realized that, so moving, like kind of going into the user experience direction, I realized that I was not just a designer. I was not just like a pixel monkey that made things look pretty. I wanted to do more of the strategic work. And because of the nature of that relationship, I wasn't really respected or my ideas weren't heard. And I had a lot of problems kind of being able to have my voice heard in that context. I decided to just fire all my clients and start over. I can't remember. I've actually done that twice. And so I wanted clients that were maybe, instead of corporations, were more like location independent businesses, or what we call like remote businesses now. And so I started to kind of go that way because I thought that it would be easier for my voice to be heard, it'd be easier for me to kind of move into that direction where it was more strategic design than just, hey, we need like a map of all the pipelines in Texas. Like, can you make this illustration for us? You know?
Absolutely.
You are listening to the Founders Connect podcast, helping lifestyle entrepreneurs to grow their business online and create a happier marriage. Now back to the show.
And so how did you ensure that as part of that, you actually had your voice heard? Was that in the way that you framed conversations? Is that, you know, you just asking upfront specific things? Because I know this is not, I've heard this and I've experienced this as well. Part of it is dealing with your own perception of value. And then the other part of it is being able to communicate that value to someone who's a prospective client or partner or whatever it may be. So how was that for you and what did you learn in that process?
In the beginning, it was like really hard to get that heard because immediately when people come to me, I'm like, oh, you're a designer. I need something designed. I need this to like look good. And so I kind of tried to work that conversation in there. Well, what is the business goal? Like, why are you doing this redesign? And I started kind of getting under that. And once I understood that, then I was like, okay, well, how can I make this design? So I would just like, when I came to like invoicing them and doing the proposals and stuff, I focused on like the design, you know, but then I would like throw in these other things, you know, and I wouldn't charge them for it because I needed to kind of prove in the beginning that I could do that and that they would get a result from it. And what happened is the design went up and it's like, oh, their email signups like 3x, you know? So then it was like, okay, well, now I can tie that to my design work because that's what it did. And so then I just kind of started focusing on those results. So initially I wasn't like, oh, I can do all this stuff for you and make all this stuff happen in your business because I didn't really know at that point, but I just kind of asked questions to figure it out and then tried things because they were only expecting a design from me and like the, you know, results were a bonus. And so that's kind of how I started to move into the strategic part. And when you're working with like a business owner, it's so much easier than like working in an agency or corporation where it's like you have a very like niche, very specific role, and it's really hard to break out of that.
Yeah, you're a cog in a machine versus when you're working with a business owner, you kind of have a more strategic level, or you have the opportunity to at least be in that conversation. Totally get that. So on the summit, you're going to be talking about just what you said there, how to sell more by designing better user experiences. And that's an interesting, even just a topic to me is quite interesting because people don't typically think about the design element when they're thinking about selling, or conversions, right? Like I definitely see the relationship because I've run a content agency for the last couple of years. People coming to me for articles and blog posts and email sequences and these sort of things. And then at the end of the day, the question I'm always asking is, well, why do you want this stuff? And it's always because we want more leads or we want more sales or we want brand awareness. And I'm like, well, okay, that's actually the metric you're trying to track. And so this comes back to what you're saying. It's not just about the design. It's actually what does the design get you at the end of the day that you're looking for. So why do you feel, this particular topic is important and why have you been going around the world doing talks about this stuff? Because I see that's something that you've pretty much been active doing.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I think it's a little bit of an ego and a pride thing. They want like a beautiful website, they want that. And actually like having a beautiful website does help sales in a certain context. Like I have to put a like little caveat with that. I'll talk about this on the summit, the halo effect. And the halo effect is basically a cognitive bias that means like if this one thing is good or if this one thing is beautiful or whatever, then that means this other thing must be good. So if your website is easy to use, they have a really good first impression of it, then they assume, hey, this guy's product must be like legit good also. And so if you have a design and you don't have a good product, then it can actually like harm you. So design actually amplifies what is already good about it. Because if they have a good experience and they turn around and they try it and they have a bad experience, they're obviously going to, it's not going to be a good deal.
Yeah. And it forces you to ensure that after the purchase that you also have a great experience, because if you don't have that, you're in trouble, right? So love it.
Yeah. It's kind of, like making a cupcake made out of dog food, it looks like delicious and you bite into it. It's like, oh my God, disgusting.
That's Quinn's next product being released. Delicious dog food. Love it. Okay, now you're going to be giving away one prize for one lucky winner who joins your talk on the summit. What's that prize going to be?
Yeah, so we're going to be giving away $500 on Conversion Crimes, which is our user testing platform to allow you to run a lot of different tests. And at Zeda Labs, we have this thing called a mini teardown, which is $3.99, which we'll also be giving away. So that's basically you have a landing page, you want to get some feedback on it. So we'll go through, tear it down, and tell you how good or bad it is to improve.
And make you cry.
They can be a little... Yeah, they can be a little brutal sometimes. I was trying to think about how to load that.
But very necessary and tremendous value on that. So make sure you jump in on the summit to join Quinn and I. We're going to talk about how to sell more by designing better user experiences. The website is www.remotebusinesssummit.com. Go register for free. We're kicking off on November 18. So you can access that talk, but also 25 other talks from different experts about remote business and remote work. Now, if you want to check out Quinn and her work and her team, go over to zedalabs.com. Is that the right URL?
Yes.
Yep. And conversioncrimes.com, which is, she's got a really interesting comic on there that I saw, which is also a part of the UX demonstration in play. I love it. So that's it, guys. So Quinn, looking forward to seeing you on the summit. Cheers.
Look forward to it.
Thanks for tuning in. And remember to live passionately,
purposefully,
and confidently. Till next time.